But that's right now, King man. I don't feel good about the situation, but I don't know friends or anything we can talk about. Like, him go wrong about things like how them say me go wrong about things. But
in the late 1990s, a rumor tore through the streets of Kingston that sent shockwaves to the entire music industry. The word on the pavement was brutal. Bounty Killa, the unyielding warlord of Dancehall, had physically assaulted his own protege, Harry Toddler, leaving him on the verge of permanent blindness. For years, people called it urban legend. They called it industry gossip. But Harry Toddler himself sat in front of a camera and confirmed the unthinkable. The warlord did indeed put his hands on him.
I mean, that's how you feel attack and me feel attack and then licking and get involved. You understand? We would never approach Killa the way.
How did a brotherhood born in the trenches of Seaview Gardens, built on ultimate loyalty and chart-topping success, explode into a backstage bloodbath? What really happened on that fateful night when the Scare Dem Crew shattered forever? Today, we are diving deep into the raw street science, the clash of massive egos, and the alleged near blinding blow that changed dancehall history. Make sure you lock in, because this is the untold story of Bounty Killa, Harry Toddler, and the rise and fall of the Scare Dem Crew.
Yo, one know the issue of dancehall, link and Entourage Records. One know the talk I turn in dancehall, link and Entourage Records. Your entourage, the meat you know eat from money, your ruggedness.
Bless up, and welcome back to Entourage Records. If you are new via here, please consider subscribing. Turn on your post notification bell so whenever I make a new upload, you can be the first to be notified. To understand the explosive nature of the legendary confrontation between Bounty Killa and Harry Toddler, one must first travel back to the gritty concrete streets of Kingston, Jamaica in the mid-1990s. This was an era defined by street-level survival, raw testosterone, and musical warfare. In the heart of Seaview Gardens, a young Rodney Price was rapidly ascending to global stardom as the poor people's governor, known to the world as Bounty Killa. He had conquered the sound systems, survived the intense rivalries of the era, and commanded the industry with an iron fist. But as his status grew, he chose not to walk the path of success alone. Inspired by the mentorship he had seen in the streets, Bounty Killa set out to build an empire of his own. He looked back at his community and saw a group of young, incredibly talented raw vocalists trying to find their footing. They were the Seaview family, Elephant Man, Nitty Kutchie, Dandimite, and a sharp-tongued lyricist who fouled from Walton Park named Harry Toddler. At the time, they were just local boys with big dreams but zero industry leverage. Seeing their potential, the warlord did something that changed dancehall history forever. He didn't just give them advice, he gave them an identity. He branded them with a name that would strike fear into any opposing camp: the Scare Dem Crew. The narrative of the Scare Dem Crew is one of immediate chaotic success. Industry insiders report that Bounty Killa became a human shield and an open door for the young group. When elite studio producers locked them out, he launched Scare Dem Productions. When major promoters hesitated to book unknown acts, the warlord gave them an ultimatum. If you wanted Bounty Killa on your stage, you had to take his crew with him. From the iconic stage of Sting to the massive crowds of Reggae Sunsplash, Bounty Killa dragged the Scare Dem Crew into the spotlight. He gave them the ultimate platform, holding their hands through the industry until they could survive completely upon them own, and survive they did. The street signs work almost overnight. The Scare Dem Crew grew teeth on their own. They became a self-sustaining powerhouse. It's like Pure Gal and many dominated the airwaves, transforming them from localized ghetto youths into international superstars. But as historians of the culture note, the only thing more dangerous than poverty in Kingston streets is sudden, overwhelming fame. As the money poured in and individual egos began to swell, the dynamics inside the camp allegedly started to fracture. Members of the crew were no longer just the young proteges of the warlord, they were global entities in their own right. Industry whispers from that era suggest that a dangerous shift in hierarchy was brewing. According to various close sources, elements of insubordination began creeping into the camp. In other words, some people say some disrespect towards Killa Dagwan. Certain members reportedly began forgetting the foundational architecture of the house they were living in. In the highly volatile world of 90s dancehall, respect was not just a courtesy, it was currency, and it was a matter of survival. The boiling point was inevitable. Rumors began circulating to the Jamaican music industry of intense backstage shouting matches and power struggles between Bounty Killa and the very men he had raised. The line between a proud mentor and an unyielding general had become dangerously thin. And then came the fateful night that would live in dancehall infamy.
It's like Killa must have think something wrong and a judge me some wrongful way, because I don't expect that from Bounty Killa, because all of we are friends and we grow together. You understand? If you hurt, we feel it. You understand, sir? I saw we go about the thing from day one, so we never expect that from Killa. So you know, Mr. Youth, I want talk about nothing. We should trash it out and get it, you understand, get it on the safer side and get it on the better side. Remember, we are big people. I mean, that's how you feel talk and me feel talk, and then licking and get involved, because you understand, we would never approach Killa that way, because you know, so we're ready to the end.
Yeah, that is what most people find a little bit frightening, because as far as everybody know, I mean, you and Killa were friends from the initial outset, before Killa became as prominent as he is today. And to see something of that magnitude just pretty much just, you know, still over.
It hurt a lot of fans and it hurt a lot of people, because people feel, them say no, them cost the tour, because them say no, nobody not pick up for Killa, nobody not pick up for me. Them cost the tour, because them say we are both road models and it looks stupid. You understand? And people glad they never catch on the camera or catch on the, you understand, for around the world and like that disgrace for self and disgrace for culture.
Harry Toddler spoke of how much it hurt him and how much he never expected that from Bounty Killa, where Killa would have put his hands on him because them have a misunderstanding. The specifics of the incidents have been passed down to generations of music fans like urban folklore. It's alleged that during a heated confrontation backstage, words were spoken that crossed a line from which there was no return. Reports claim that Harry Toddler stepped to the warlord in a manner that was perceived as a direct challenge to his authority. In a split second, the tension erupted into physical violence. It is widely alleged that Bounty Killa unleashed a sudden powerful physical strike, putting his hands heavily on Harry Toddler. The force of the blow was devastating. The impact was centered squarely around Toddler's face, causing severe trauma to his eye. Almost instantly, the Kingston grapevine went into overdrive. The rumors exploded across the island. Killa Jook out Harry Toddler yai. Killa blind Harry Toddler. Toddler lose him yai. The warlord end him career. For weeks, the industry held its breath, wondering if one of dancehall's most iconic brotherhoods had just ended in permanent blindness and bloodshed. After a few days or a couple of weeks, Harry Toddler eventually addressed the situation openly in an interview. He did something that shocked many casual observers. He confirmed the physical assault, but he did not speak with bitterness. Instead, he contextualized it within the raw ghetto gladiator culture of their youth. It was explained as an era driven by explosive testosterone, high-stakes pressure, and a street-level disciplinary structure where a general corrects his soldiers when boundaries are crossed. The story of Bounty Killa and Harry Toddler didn't end in a permanent feud or a cycle of violence. It ended in a profound display of growth. Decades later, the hot-headed youth of Seaview Gardens transitioned into the elder statesman of Jamaican music. The ultimate proof of their reconciliation came years later in London during Harry Toddler's highly anticipated solo album launch. Standing on that stage, right beside him, performing to a roaring crowd, was none other than the warlord himself. It is a legendary tale of mentorship, a devastating clash of egos, a near blinding blow, and ultimately an unshakable foundation of mutual respect that survived the test of time. The clash between the warlord and Harry Toddler remains etched in dancehall history, not just as a moment of violence, but as a testament to the raw, unforgiving street signs that shaped the golden era of music. It shows that in the kingdom of the streets, respect is the ultimate currency, and sometimes even the tightest brotherhoods have to be forged through fire. If you want more deep dive into untold stories, legendary feuds, and raw history of dancehall culture, make sure to smash the like button, hit subscribe, and turn on the notifications. Don't leave just yet. Click the video on your screen right now to jump in a more deep dive. Respect for watching. Until next time, lock in and stay dangerous. But what do you think? Was Bounty Killa right to discipline his camp with an iron fist to maintain order, or did the physical altercation cross a line that should have never been stepped over? Drop your thoughts in the comment, make we talk about it. We've come to the end of another video. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel, those who have done so as yet. Also, please turn on your post notification bell so whenever I make a new upload, you can be the first to be notified. Peace out, bless up, I'll definitely catch you in the next one.